my advice to LGBTQ voters.
Hey, queer people, it's time to get out and
vote. 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 Vote.
Vote.
Vote. Vote. In your interests. Don't vote for... What do I need to tell you for? Everybody knows who not to vote for.
Listen, the most important thing you can do during this time is vote. Vote like Black Lives Matter. Vote like you have an immigrant child. Vote like you have a sick relative. Vote.
We are on the precipice of enormous change, and that change can't happen without you. Get out the vote. Make sure your friends vote. Don't sleep with anyone who doesn't vote. Use the powers you have to change the world.
If you're not registered, get registered. If you are registered, get informed. Not just about the big ticket races, but down ballot as well in your local area where you can make an incredible positive change.
Get involved in your local politics because that is where change happens. It is there where you can enact police reform, defund the police, abolish state-sanctioned violence.
It's vital for the queer community to show up and vote. Please, you matter and your effort goes a long way. Be a part of the change.
LGBTQ voters can have dramatic impacts on elections, and I know that we sometimes forget that. But if every single eligible LGBTQ voter in America were to go out and vote, I 100%, without question, promise you that the ripple effect of those votes would be greater equality across the country for all people, for racial and ethnic minorities, for reproductive rights, for first-generation immigrants, and also for those of us that are LGBTQ.
We've got to get out the vote for candidates who believe in equality and are going to make this country a better place. We can be such a force, but in a democracy, that means turning out. Otherwise, your voice won't be heard. So don't miss the chance to mobilize, to inform yourself, to educate yourself, and to make a difference.
If you have an opinion about music, about fashion, about pop culture, you should have an opinion about politics, because all of those things that we love to kiki about and stand, like those enrich our lives, but politicians effectively change our lives.
After taking to the streets, it's time to vote. This election will define who we are as a generation. It's our opportunity to say enough is enough. This is not my country. This is not what makes me proud to be American. After all, history will judge us, and now is our chance to prove to future generations that we had a taste of tyranny, and then we defeated it.
It is our voices, our visibility, and our vote that creates positive change. Today more than ever, it is important that you keep involved, be visible, be vocal, and vote.
Our identities are one issue to consider when voting, but so are some other systemic issues. So think deeper.
Hey, I wrote a poem for you. Remember, in November, on a serious note, it's important to vote.
A lot of times it feels like no one's listening and that nothing's happening in the ways that we want them to, but it is. It takes time, but those votes, every single one of them counts. So don't stay home.
You guys, this election is the most important election of our entire lives. So much is riding on this. Just vote and get your family to vote and your friends to vote. Register everyone you know so they can go out and vote.
I would just like to remind LGBTQ voters that it is an election year, in case you've forgotten, and it is more important now than ever that communities like ours rise up and use our voices. So vote, vote, vote.
If you can vote, vote for me. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm gonna be able to do it next year when I become a citizen. But I am sure our votes and our views may be very similar. Even if they're not, vote. Your future depends on you.
Even if we're not thrilled with the candidate that was dealt to us, we must still fight for issues that we care about.
This year in particular is the most important to vote. We are in a state of change, and change only happens through legislation, okay? Your voice matters, your vote counts. The power is in our hands to make politicians fix the world that we're in right now.
Every election is important, and as you know, we got a big election coming up this fall. Your voice matters, your vote matters. A lot of incredible people inside of our community fought for our voices to matter. Honor them this fall you better vote, girl.
And the only way to exercise your voice is to go out and vote. So you better be there.